Well, good morning, everyone. Glad to have you here. Thanks so much for your attendance. I know these are long days, and we're very appreciative that you've cut out some time for what it's, I think, a very, very major announcement. I'm Doug Rice with the Performance Racing Network. Thrilled to see everybody here. First off, let me introduce who we have up on our panel, and then we'll let you know exactly why we're all gathered here today. First and closest to me is Sydney Kimball, Vice President of Shell Fuel Sales and Marketing in the Americas. Next to her, Colin Abraham, President of Shell Lubricants of the Americas. And of course, in the middle, Roger Penske, Founder and Chairman of Penske Corporation. Next to Roger, Joey Logano, of course, been a busy guy here, driver of the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford Fusion. And all the way down on the far end, three-time winner of the Indianapolis 500, driver of the number 3 Shell V-powered Chevrolet in the Verizon IndyCar Series, Helio Castroneves. So a pretty powerful panel here. Today we're talking about stability. We're talking about the extension of contracts and changing the landscape in a very dramatic fashion. We're going to be discussing a long-term extension between Shell and Team Penske that's already been very fruitful. And of course, Joey Logano may be the most relaxed person at Daytona International Speedway after we make this announcement. Am I overstating that, Joey?
I'm far from relaxed. This brings on a lot for me, that a lot to live up to, which is good.
We're talking about stability. Obviously, you've seen the hashtag 22 and beyond, and that should give you a pretty good idea of what you're going to be hearing here. So I'm going to open this up right now, first off, to Sydney and Colin to talk about this extension and this wonderful relationship between Team Penske and Shell and what that means. Sydney?
Okay, so we're really excited about extending our partnership with Penske and Shell for beyond 2022 with our favorite driver, number 22. Our relationship really goes right around the world. It's global in nature and focuses right now in 3 continents. Really North America, Europe, and Australia. And our business, actually, I've been working for Shell for over 32 years, and I've worked with many partnerships in the fuels and lubricants areas, and the partnership with Penske is truly different. It focuses both on how we grow together, but also has a real heart to it and caring about each other's businesses, and talks about innovation. And we look at what we can really make happen together on the track, and then bringing that to our customers at retail stations right around the world. So really looking forward to this partnership.
Thanks, Sydney. Yeah, just to reiterate what Sydney said, I mean, extending this partnership is really important to us. This is one of the best business relationships we have, but also one of the best motorsport partnerships that we have. You know that at Shell, we partner with Ferrari in Formula One right around the world, and I would put the relationship with Team Penske on a par with our relationship with Ferrari. It's truly global in nature, and we love working together. Just to give you a couple of examples, we worked with Roger's team to open up business in Australia. We were struggling with a small, missing an OEM approval, and with the help of Roger's team, we were able to fix that very quickly and make sure we could put supplies into the dealership that you were opening up in Australia. And I think from a lubricants perspective as well, lubricants is a very technical product. There's a lot of innovation and a lot of new things happen. And being able to work with a group like Penske on the racetrack, where we're testing the oil in real time. I see Tim looking at me there. Testing the oil in real time and then involving that technology is fantastic for us to have like a real life test lab for our products. And we use that to develop our business. We use that in our marketing. And what I like to say is that relationship allows us to go from the track to the pack, or from the throttle to the bottle, and we can really bring that to life for our customers. So a wonderful extension to this partnership, something we're extremely proud of. And I'm honored with Sydney today here to be the people announcing this to you on the eve of one of the greatest races in motorsport, the Daytona 500. So thank you.
And I'm going to have to figure out how to work throttle to the bottle into a broadcast. Roger, I know this has got to be a very special day for you. You've already had a very long-lasting relationship with Shell, and to announce this kind of extension, I can't imagine what that means to you and Team Penske.
Well, I think that as you look at the garage area and you think about sports relationships, and to think that we've signed a 7-year contract, 22 and beyond, if you do the math, is pretty amazing. And our business, when you think about 50 years, we celebrated last year, is because of the partnerships we have. And I think I said it earlier today that out of the 38 sponsors that we have, 25 we have business relationships with. And I think that when we look at the relationship with Shell and Pennzoil, it goes far beyond putting a sticker on the car or a logo on a shirt. It's about business, and racing certainly has been the common thread through our company for many, many years. And you think about our 244,000 trucks. Shell came to us and told us technically they could help us extend the oil change intervals. When you think about that, the cost per mile that we're able to save there is amazing. And then as we partnered from the dealership side with 340 plus franchises, and the opportunity to utilize the Shell and Pennzoil products there has been amazing, because they've integrated with us their people inside our organization. So to me, it's made a huge difference. And this kind of partnership is one that helps us build the future and be able to commit to people like Joey. And certainly they understand it. And this wasn't something that just came up overnight. We've been working on this for well over a year. As you know us, most of the time, we're working on our contracts with at least a year more to go before we don't wait till the 9th inning before we make a change. And I think this has been the great thing about the Shell Pennzoil team, that we've been able to sit down and rationally discuss, what's the future of the sport. And there's no question that they see the long-term relationship in Formula One with Ferrari, a world-class brand, and to put us in the same room with Ferrari is amazing. And I think that we felt that, this was a great time for us, and certainly the Daytona 500 is a great venue to announce this. And it gives our team and our people such confidence to have the 22 with a sponsor like Shell. And believe me, guys, this isn't just for 15 races. This is 30-plus races per year. So another thing that's important, we're not going to be changing the logos on the car every other week, which gives us a lot of continuity, and I think helps their brand. And certainly when Joey can stand up and say, look, I'm with one of the world-class companies worldwide as a partner, it makes a huge difference. So this isn't just an announcement about a sponsor. This is a partnership. It's a business relationship, which I think will extend many, many years, and helps, quite honestly, it's the foundation of our whole business.
Roger, can you also address the extension of the guy immediately to your left there, and the fact that he gets to hang around a few more years?
Well, we thought that if we would extend Shell, it might be a good idea to give Logano a call and see if he'd be interested in hanging around for another 7 years. It's ironic that we called Joey, and Joey sat down with his team, came down to see us, and I think in 2 hours, once he heard the good news about Shell, we were able to sit down and put together a long-term contract, which is amazing. And I think that's the confidence that he has in our team and also our people. And I think this is why it's so good. I think about Rick Mears. People look at Helio, 17 years with us. This is what we want, and that's why I think we've been successful, is because the driver makes such a difference, because they set the tone at the top, which then drives all the way down to the guy changing the right front tire, the left rear tire. So, yeah, we're thrilled to have Joey, and he can think about driving and not worrying about his contract, which is probably good for both of us.
Right. Joey, you want to pick up on that?
Yeah, it's just it's an amazing opportunity. It's an amazing honor for me to be a part of this announcement today. Obviously, over the last 4 years and going into my 5th year with Team Penske, obviously it's been a huge turn in my career since I've been able to start with them. And the biggest things I've learned is to surround yourself with greatness. And when you look at both sides of me, even you, Helio, there's greatness here. And I'm just messing with you, but. To be a part of something like that, and surrounding yourself with people that are even smarter than you, from not only the people up here on the stage today, but when you think about the 22 team and how close we've been able to grow together, and being able to attach Todd Gordon to this as well, is a huge advantage, I think, for us as a race team to keep that continuity, like Roger said, not only with the sponsor and with the driver and a team, but keeping everyone together and just growing off of what we've been able to accomplish over the last 4 years and getting closer to that championship that we've come so close to over the last 3 years. So I'm very fortunate. I'm very excited about this. This was, to me, one of those decisions that was a no-brainer. You know, when you're able to, you know, find yourself in an amazing opportunity with a lot of winners around you, that's great. You know, obviously, you know, Doug, you said I'd be the most relaxed person here, but a lot of pressure comes along with this, and I love pressure. I'm glad to have that. I said it last year in Homestead. Pressure is a privilege, and it honestly is to have this opportunity to race for Roger Penske and Shell and Pennzoil and what they expect to go out there and win. I want to have that opportunity and want to be with people that want to win as bad as me. So, like I said, it was a no-brainer for me to look at this and say, hey, this is working really well. I'd love to extend this as long as I can. So when a 7-year deal is thrown in front of you, you know, you obviously jump on that opportunity to go out there and win championships together as a team. So looking forward to the opportunity, looking forward to kicking it off here in Daytona.
Joey, what is this?
I want to say one thing, interrupt. We talked about this, and I said, you know, you got to win at least 50 races. So, of course, he sent me after last weekend, 49 to go.
First thing I said, almost there.
A good start.
Somewhere.
Sorry. Keep working on that. Joey, what does the stability of 7 years of sponsorship also mean to you? You don't have to worry about that either. I mean, you've got a long-term driving contract and an equally long-term sponsorship deal from Shell.
Well, the fact that it all goes together is, you know, unheard of. This is a very positive story in our sport to see the commitment of a very, very large company like Shell and Pennzoil, and you know, for them to be able to sign up with this team really sets a statement for not only where Team Penske is, but where NASCAR is as a sport, and that's something I'm proud to be a part of.
Helio, Shell has been a big part of your success with Team Penske over the years, too.
Yes, absolutely, Doug. Thank you again. It's great to be back here in Daytona. Oh, it's been quite a while since I was here in 2008, actually, for Daytona 24 Hours, and it's great to see the facility. It's really amazing. And be part of this announcement. Obviously, Shell, Pennzoil, it's an iconic sponsor and partner, actually, to be honest, since I was a kid in Brazil. We always watching, you know, they're in all of the Formula One cars, Indy cars, and all of a sudden, I'm the one having opportunity and an honor to be wearing that patch, you know, in my suit. So really excited to be back again, especially this year for the Indy 500. We're going to be with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus. Yes, here we go. And we're excited about that. And again, Shell is always innovating, not only in the sponsors, but also in the technical part. So we appreciate the partnership, and I can't wait. I can't wait to be there. We're going to be going for our 4th win. We've been so close, and we know we can make it happen. And I have not only the capability, but I have the equipment and teammates that we can make this happen. So I've been here quite some time, and obviously it's an amazing organization, and I'm very honored to be part of this amazing organization.
Sydney, it's obvious you're pretty excited. Do you have a countdown calendar at home to the Indy 500?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's to be able to work with the Penskes and work with the great brands that we have and really look for opportunities to move our businesses forward to benefit the customers. So we have, as an example, we have the Fuel Rewards program. Roger and I were talking about it this morning. And we have some really big news coming down shortly this year, and we're really working at how we can leverage the 450,000 trucks and the over 300 dealerships and so on right throughout the world to make it work. Yeah.
Excited.
Okay, let's go ahead and open this up for questions here. Raise your hand and we'll get a mic runner to you. Please state your name and affiliation. We'll go back here to Bruce Martin first.
Bruce Martin with Speed Sport. Joey, a couple of years ago when IndyCar was at Fontana, it generated a lot of attention from the NASCAR community. I know Brad said he couldn't take his eyes away from watching it. What do you think of the different style of racing that Helio does? And Helio, you use aerodynamics a lot differently in your form of racing than what they do here. What do you think when you see a restrictor plate race, how they know about side drafting and all that?
Yeah, well, I think when I watched the Fontana race, I think we all thought, "Oh my God, they're crazy."
Actually, I thought the same thing. No worries.
You thought the same thing too, but you know, it is two very different disciplines of racing. But there is also a lot of similarities that we're able to talk about and joke about as race car drivers. We're able to have a lot in common. But yes, obviously an IndyCar drives a lot different than a NASCAR Cup car. It's definitely a different game for sure. But you know, it seems like obviously the way we side draft seems to be a little bit different than the way they do it, and the moves that they make are so quick. With our cars, it takes a little bit longer to make the move. We can't swing as much weight around as quick as they can. But and then the bumping and banging and the pushing that we have in our packs are obviously different than what you know what you see in the IndyCar side. So definitely they're very different, but we're you know still race car drivers, so we have that similarity.
Yeah, basically, I mean, all of today, I mean, aerodynamics become a big part of the setup of the cars, and not only in IndyCar but also in NASCAR. I did not have the opportunity to drive a NASCAR before. I asked Roger 3 times, and he said no, but it's okay. I understand. Maybe now with the announcement of Shell, we can, you know, just play around. He can drive my car one day, and I can drive his car one day. But
Maybe I can drive either of them.
here we go. No,
You should change the seat.
we have
Nice
to change.
difference.
It will be a big one. But what I can say about it, my experience in IROC racing a long time ago, and obviously it was completely different for them. I don't know how they when they're talking about, did you see the air? I'm like, what air? I can't understand that. But we have a different dynamic. They use the bumper to push the guy in front. We the opposite. We use the guy in front to suck you in, and you can make a pass. So those are the difference, obviously, with the cars. They say about 120 miles an hour. Actually, our engineers saying that the car can stuck to the ceiling. And in the car, it's pretty really depending on aerodynamic. But when I see them racing in the restricted place, it's interesting. You can see there is a lot of strategy. You got to have a teammate to be able to you know, put yourself in a contention to win, or you got to be able to understand and see this type of air that sometimes is very difficult for us to see it. But I can see him and Brad working really well for those races, and Penske did a phenomenal job in making the cars good enough. So looking forward to see those guys, and hopefully Joey will be on the victory circle this year.
So, Roger, just for the record, we're not seeing Helio in the Daytona 500 anytime soon?
No, I think we have, we just made a long-term commitment, so I think
There you go.
I think Joey's safe.
All right. We're going to go to Claire, then Lewis, and then the gentleman right behind him.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. This announcement today really is an exclamation point to a success story that started when Shell Pennzoil, obviously Roger Penske, believed in you, Joey. And can you talk about what that meant for you when you came over, when you didn't know what was going to happen, and then, you know, catapulting to today with the announcement that Shell Pennzoil believed in a Joey Logano?
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, that moment in my career, you know, 4 years ago, was obviously a game changer. And this day today is going to be, once again, a game changer for me as a race car driver. But, you know, obviously for them to have the confidence in me as a driver, and not only, you know, Roger, but, you know, he put me together with this amazing team with this 22 car. And I don't think I emphasized that enough, how great this team was and how they were needing some consistency at the time. And with Todd Gordon leading it, and being able to just grow this family is amazing. And so, you know, to extend Todd's deal along with this, it becomes very important to me. You know, I look at Todd as a friend and a great crew chief that's able to, you know, we're able to read each other really well, and he's able to make these very great decisions out on the racetrack. And you know, and he leads our team from a you know, from a great aspect of, you know, maybe not from being the guy that's on top and looking everyone down. He leads it as the guy that, and Roger says this all the time, he's not too good to sweep the floors. And that's important, you know, to lead by example. And, you know, our team's able to do that. There's not one guy better than the other. So I think keeping all of us together is a huge opportunity.
Claire, can I just build on that briefly? So, I mean, in being able to sign a longer-term deal with Joey, we've worked together now, about 3 or 4 years, Joey, and not only is Joey a proven winner, I was here 2 years ago at Daytona when you won, which is, I still have the cap. So obviously we're looking to work with someone who's going to win races, but the relationship goes much more deep than that. We actually work with Joey a lot with our customers, with our staff at events and meetings and off-site type of activities, and Joey is just an outstanding ambassador every time he joins us, so I'm just thrilled to be able to have that long-term relationship locked in for the next 7 years.
Thank you.
Ditto.
Louis Frank of Reuters. Roger, we're talking continuity. Your teams, NASCAR and IndyCar, tend, other than maybe some black swan incidents, tend to be very little turnover. Was this a philosophy you started out with, or is this something you've developed? And how do you maintain that lack of turnover?
I guess it's a business premise that we run our company with because, you know, just the DNA of your business, you know, people, a very flat organization, as Joey said, you know, we try to, you know, work from people from the ground up, and most of our people, you think about, I think I said it, we have some 400 people, you know, in our racing operation today, and 10% of them have come from UTI, Universal Technical Institute, people, the kids that want to be technicians, and they go to NASCAR Tech, and this is how we built the company. And I think that if you can show leadership opportunities and you reward the people, and it's not always about money. There's people that would come and work on the 22 car, the 2 or the 21, just to be part of the team, and I think that's what we try to develop through the whole organization. And you know, I look, quite honestly, every single month in every company we have, I'm looking at turnover. And when you have high turnover, you follow me, you usually get poor results, and you know you got to make a change. So I think we've been fortunate with our driver. We think Rick Mears, all the way to the end of his career. You think of Bobby Unser, you think of Al, and certainly Helio, going on to his 18th year. And this is part of the business, and that's what keeps me going, to be honest with you, because you make these commitments. You know, it's one thing to say you've got a sponsor, but you make these commitments to the people inside the organization, and you know that means more to me than, you know, maybe getting a trophy this weekend, to be sure that I get a trophy with our people.
Okay, we've got another question here, and then we'll jump over here.
Joseph Walken, frontstretch.com. This is for Joey and for Roger. What attracted you guys to each other when you decided to make this partnership at the beginning and start what's now a multi-year deal that could break barriers for other sponsors coming into the sport?
Go ahead, do you want to start?
Winning. I think that's the most simple term to put it. You know, I was, as a race car driver, I've been able to look at Team Penske before I was here and see the greatness and the and how they do things differently. You know, you can tell just by the way the teams appear, with the way they dress and how beautiful the cars look all the time. You know that the attention to detail is there. And when the attention to detail is that important, you know that they're looking at a lot of other things that aren't visible to the person that's outside the team looking in. So as a race car driver, when you see greatness to the naked eye, when you're looking from outside in, you know there's a lot more to it. And now as a driver inside the team, I can see that. I can see the greatness that starts from the top with Roger, all the way through the whole company, and the way it's all structured, and the people that Rogers has placed throughout this race team. It's pretty incredible to see it. So you know, that's obviously what attracted me to start, but what attracts me to stay is seeing what it really is, and wanting to be a part of that.
All right, we'll wrap up our questions right here.
Jordan Bianchi, SB Nation. This is for Roger. Roger, you've got one driver under long-term contract now with Joey. Brad, I believe, contract expires at the end of this season. Where are you at with that? And
We're in conversation today, and I think this came up faster than we had expected because we've been working on it with Shell, and you know we hope that we'll be announcing a long-term contract with Brad. I think we're right a long way down the road with him.
Roger, the stability that this recognizes is unheard of in motorsports. I mean, nobody has 7-year deals with drivers and sponsors to kind of put a cap on all this. I mean, this has to be a high watermark in the industry is what I'm leading to.
Well, I think it's an exclamation point on the commitment that Shell and Pennzoil have to the sport, to the industry from the standpoint of, you know, where they do business. And I think the ability for us to partner with them is exactly our game plan. That's our mission, to be with partners. And if I look back and think about the success we've had over these years, it's been because of partnerships that are long-term. And this is certainly, in today's world of risk and uncertainty, to be able to have this opportunity is amazing for me.
Well, on behalf of Shell and Team Penske, we really appreciate your attendance and your attention today. All of the principals up here on the stage will be available for a short period of one-on-ones. Thank you very much for being here.
Good morning. Welcome, everyone, here in the Daytona International Speedway Media Center and those watching live on NASCAR.com and Facebook Live. This is the first of 3 media availabilities here this weekend where our manufacturers and team owners will preview the Daytona 500 and the 2017 season, specifically the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. Sitting from left to right, we're joined by Jim Campbell, Chevrolet U.S. VP Performance Vehicles and Motorsports. To his left is Richard Childress Racing. Chip Ganassi Racing, and Rick Hendrick Motorsports. And we just got back from an exciting tour that Jim led of the Chevrolet experience, where the owners got a chance to take in this highly impressive activation footprint for Chevrolet. And Jim, let's start there. And first, tell us a little bit about that experience, but also talk about how Chevrolet will leave the pack on Sunday with the front field.
Great. Well, it's great to be with you all, and this is a unique opportunity to join you. And we had an exciting announcement a moment ago at our new Chevrolet Daytona Experience Center, and I invite you to come over and check it out later this weekend if you'd like to see it. And that's going to be a place that's a multi-dimensional facility that's going to allow us to engage in our customers, with our customers, on special events, ride and drives, training sessions with our dealers, both on the sales and service side, and also with the media. And so today we did have a media event over there this morning. We announced that the 2017 Daytona 500 will be paced by a Camaro ZL1. The Camaro ZL1 is a 650 horsepower, 6.2 liter supercharged V8, has a 10-speed automatic transmission with paddle shifting, 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, and has a top speed just rated last week of 200 miles an hour. And it's a road car. It's a street car. We call it the triple threat. It's for the drag strip. It's for the street, and it's for the track. And we also announced that Jeff Gordon will be our honorary pace car driver. So we're very excited about that. And Jeff obviously knows this place well, a 4-time champion, and also recently won the Rolex 24 at Daytona just a few weeks ago here with our company on another program that we run. So it was a very exciting announcement, and we're really proud to be here to kick off the season here with NASCAR.
Thank you, Jim. And Chevrolet was back on top last season with Jimmy Johnson's 7th championship, and now he's going for a record number 8. And to our esteemed team owners up here, how do you prepare to tackle the competition enhancements to defend a Chevy championship this year? We'll start with you, Mr. Childress.
I think it goes to working together. If you see the racing, a lot of it's happened, and I think NASCAR is working on the whole new format, the rules, the way they're going to enforce them. I think it's just going to be some great racing this coming year, and we're going to go out and give it everything we got with Chevrolet.
Mr. Ganassi.
It's a challenge to each year to come back here after the winter. You have your off season and what you do to your team, make it better. Not only do we have other teams and other manufacturers we have to beat, I got this guy to my left and the guy to my right here we got to be in front of too. And it's a tall order, and you come to a place like this though, and you have to work together, and I couldn't be happier with how we work together with the 3 of us up here and with Chevrolet, and I think we're going to be formidable on Sunday.
Thank you, Mr. H.
Yeah, I think it's every year you want to end the season with momentum, and you want to come back. The competition is going to be fierce, and it is again. But you work hard, and we just hope that we can carry the momentum into this year. We've got a good start, but like Chip and Richard said, I think the collaboration now with all the Chevy teams has been the best it's ever been, and we're just looking forward to the challenge. It's going to be I love the format of the new format, and I think it's going to be exciting, and it's just like you're kicking off the year, and everybody's pumped up and ready to go.
Thank you. And before we open it up to the floor, Mr. Campbell, you'd like to talk about that collaboration?
Yeah, I would just say it's a real honor to sit on the stage and be longtime partners with all three of these amazing team owners. And obviously, between Rick and Rick Hendrick, 34 years we've raced together, and 12 championships at the Cup level, including Jimmy's last year, and a Hall of Fame member. That was a really exciting thing to see Rick go into the Hall of Fame. And also with Richard, we have a 48-year relationship between Richard Childress and Chevrolet, and you know, Hall of Fame member. That was so special. 6 championships with Chevrolet. Both of these team owners know how to get around this place at Daytona. It's very special, and so proud to race with these guys. Think about that, 34 years and 48 years. Not many relationships go that long. It's awesome. And then with Chip, we've had a 9-year relationship in NASCAR. Great friend. We've raced together on the IndyCar side and won a championship in 14 together. And he knows how to win here as 15. Well. And also has won some of the most amazing races in different aspects of motorsports around the world. So it's a real pleasure to race with all these three guys, and working together is really, really quite important. And then one final thing I would just say, we love racing in NASCAR at Chevrolet because the car and the driver are the stars. We have a lot of choices on where we can promote our brand. For Chevrolet, the car is a star, along with these drivers and amazing teams. And so for a car manufacturer, that is home base for us. So with that, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, gentlemen. With that, let's open it up to questions from the floor. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We will send a pass mic around. State your name and affiliation. We'll start with Tom.
Hi, guys. Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. For anyone who wants to answer this, we had 2 big sponsor announcements in the last 2 days. Chevrolet has talked about the big commitment they made with their center down there. What does it say about the long-term health of the sport that sponsors are staying in the sport? And, you know, what does it mean that it's partnerships now and not just slapping your name on the side of a car?
Well, just to anchor on my last comments, we love this platform because, you know, it's the car, the powertrain, the car working with the teams and the drivers is the star of the show. That's incredible. And then this is a platform that we can leverage to engage our current customers and prospective customers. If you get to the other side of the track, you saw what we did on the injector, a massive display. We probably have almost 100 cars here on display, and product experts. I have our chief engineer here from our Camaro program. We have some of our top engineers and product specialists here, our entire portfolio of accessories and performance parts and crate engines, transmissions. And this is the NASCAR fan, they buy cars at a higher rate than the average customer, and then they index higher in categories like pickups, utilities. That's important to us. And so this platform is about a tremendous amount of engagement with our customers and prospective customers. Both of them are important. We want to take people that don't own Chevys and bring them our way. The other piece is we do get technical transfer learnings from racing in NASCAR, and also a chance to rotate engineers and marketing specialists through this platform. It's fast moving. You have to make decisions quickly. And when they rotate back to the production side of the business, they're better for it. So that's the reason why we love NASCAR and we love motorsports.
We'll go to Holly, Reed, then Bob. Oh, sorry, Kenny. Oh, is there a mic? Yep. Oh, there she is.
Holly Kane, NASCAR.com. Rick, I wanted to ask you, which probably is the $10 million question, but what do you feel like the chances are that Jimmy gets an 8th championship? Surprisingly, during the course of the media tour and some things, that hasn't been a question that he's been, hammered with, believe it or not. But what do you think about when you think about the opportunity, and what are your thoughts about him actually doing that?
You know, I think Jimmy's in the prime of his career. The way he goes after things works out. Chad, their time together, he's been in the tough situations and the tough moments, and I think to me, getting to 7 was the challenge. Just if you could get to 7, then you've tied it. So you know, it's hard to explain, but I think we took some of the pressure off just getting a 7, because now he can just race, and 8 happens great. I think he's got as good a shot as anybody out there, and he knows how to race when it gets into the playoffs. And you know, it's exciting. Probably one of the neatest things to watch the crowd down in Homestead when he won, to see all the fans get up and they saw history. You know, I think we said it. You know, Dale Earnhardt will always be the intimidator, and Richard Petty will be the king. And Jimmy has got a shot to do something that, through different types of situations and different formats, to be in a position all his own. So, you know, he's as cool about it as I've ever seen him. I don't think it's any pressure on him, and we don't feel the pressure now. I think that we've tied it. I think he's got as good a shot as anybody, and probably when you get down to the end, he knows how to win. And so we're just honored to have what we have, but looking forward to at least have the opportunity to do something no one else has done.
We'll stay up front with Reed Spencer, Bob, and then Caleb.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. This one's for Jim. Can you recall an instance where a pace car may make as much or more horsepower than the cars that are actually in the race? And is that one of the reasons why you wanted Jeff Gordon to drive it?
That's good. That's a good question. Well, listen, I mean, the Camaro ZL1 is an incredibly capable vehicle, there's no doubt. And Jeff actually, we were kidding with Jeff that actually he was kidding with us that he just made us stay out there and take an extra lap. But no, we're proud to bring it here, and you know, the relevance of you know, running our V8s under the hood there, and we run V8s here as well. It's pretty cool. So, but this in many of our motorsports platforms we compete in, sometimes the street car does actually make a little bit more horsepower. But the rules are the rules, but we're excited and proud to have Camaro pacing on Sunday with the ZL1. We're doing a Camaro SS on Saturday with Xfinity, and then a Silverado tonight. We'll be pacing the race, and they'll have small block V8s.
Bob.
Bob Pockers, ESPN. Rick, we've seen some social media from your shop where your cars don't have the Monster logo on the windshield. Junior at times seems to have it and doesn't have it on his uniform. How are you balancing that relationship? Because it appears that there's either a conflict, and I'm not sure if it's I want to call it I don't know if you're fighting with him, or have you guys kind of decided what you're doing and what you're not?
When you see our cars at the track, they'll have the Monster logo on the windshield on the side of the car. Our guys will have it on their uniform.
We'll keep rolling with Caleb.
Caleb Whistler, Speedway Digest. This is for the owners. So with all the competition enhancements, everybody talks about, oh, motorsports is in a limbo. Where do you guys see the state of motorsports being team owners?
I'll fire off first, you know, because I'm probably the oldest up here. You know, I've seen a turnover in this sport 4 times getting ready to see the field from all the different drivers. This driver group we're in today is, you know, a lot of them's in their 40s, and we're seeing some of them step aside. I think the sport today, with the young talent, with the Chase, the Elliott's, Larson's, Dillon's, Jones, all of this group of young talent. I don't think in my time I've seen this much great young talent coming along in our sport in 50 years probably. So sport looks bright, it looks great, and I think it's going to be great. NASCAR's doing a lot to the packages to improve our product in there, and so I feel good about it. What do you, Chip?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. You know, with young talent coming along, I mean, I think you have, you know, you have a group of guys coming along that are gonna put their signature on this sport, and I think obviously the sport's gone through some changes. We're looking at a new format, and these young kids, you know, like some of us older guys, when they talk about changing the format, we all start looking at each other and asking questions. And these young drivers, they just kind of go, okay, you know, it's kind of no big deal to those guys. So I think that says a lot about how they approach it and how they look forward to it. So I think it's pretty bright when you have an attitude like that.
Mike, right up front.
Mike Neff from frontstretch.com. This is for Jim because I don't want to put the owners in an awkward spot. But as the manufacturer, you obviously bring resources and technology to everyone on this panel. And information sharing obviously makes sure that a bow tie gets to victory lane. How do you work as that liaison to get information between them without getting into the proprietary bits and pieces that each team develops to distinguish themselves from the others?
Yeah, it's a good question. We've talked about it before. We use a key partners approach, and if you look at the duration of our relationships, I mean, that is the definition of key partners. And we work on common problems or opportunities together to try to spend the resources once. And I see Elba and Pat, Elba Colon and Pat Sui there, who work very closely with all the technical directors at each of the teams. So the common issues we work on as best we can together. On things that are points of difference, those are the teams do those individually and the crew chiefs and drivers. But the idea is to spend the resources on some of the toughest issues one time, and that leaves more resources for the points of difference to get the edge that they want to have for their particular teams and drivers. We work on the powertrain very closely. We have you know, a lot of capability and testing facilities inside of our company that we use with the race teams, driveline dynos that we use a lot in the production side. We have dedicated tools for that for racing. We put a driver simulator in North Carolina a number of years ago. We work on that together. Obviously, the drivers get in there and do their simulations themselves, but in terms of the tool itself, we build that so that it can be used by all the teams. So key partners, working common issues together, points of difference, they do it on their own. And I would just say over the duration, with this set of owners plus previous owners we've worked with, Chevy's had 39 manufacturers championships and 31 drivers championships. And so the approach works, but we cannot rest. The competition is intense, and we work on it every day, every week.
Okay, we'll go to Dustin, Brian, and we'll close with Jim.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. I guess it's probably more for Rick and Richard. There's been a lot of talk about collaboration. I know that can be many different levels. But on the track, we've seen the other manufacturers work together in moving up through the field or so forth with the Toyotas, and we've seen that a little bit more at the Fords. What is the expectation for on-track collaboration? I think, and I ask that in part because I think some eyebrows would have been raised last night where you had a Chevy push a Toyota past another Chevy in a qualifying race, and I think that kind of raise some eyebrows. But can you kind of define how you view the collaboration, what should be expected on the track, and are there cases where you know that just not going to work out?
You want me to go first?
Well, start with Mr. Hendrick.
You know, I see it happen. I think you saw it happening last night with the Toyotas. They couldn't get together. They tried to form up. Everybody's knew they were going to try to do that. And even when we get our own guys trying to help each other, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I think all the drivers that are driving Chevrolets know that if you get a chance to help a Chevrolet, that's what you should do, because you see the Fords and Toyotas doing it. It used to be kind of, you weren't supposed to do that even if you're on a team. Now you got manufacturers that are, you know, doing it. So, but things happen so quick out on the track, you know, it's hard to put yourself in that guy's situation because you don't know what he's feeling. But I know that we have a close relationship with both of these guys and their teams, and they try to help when they can. Surely Jamie helped Chase last night in that first race a lot, and they worked together well. Our engines were the same, and so it's just, I have been in situations at Talladega and down here when I had my own cars that just, I thought, you know, what were you thinking? And I don't think you can put yourself in that position after the race when they digest what happened. There's usually a reason. I don't think it's intent. But when you get out there, everybody wants to win the race, want to get to the end. But we know that if we see everyone else doing it, we want to help the brand we're with. So best we can do.
All right, let's get a mic over to Brian, and then we'll close with Jim.
Brian Mace of Xfinity Sports. Getting back to the young talent, you each picked off a Truck Series driver to bring to the Xfinity Series this year with Daniel Hemrick, Tyler Reddick, and William Byron. What are your expectations for this year for each of them and growing in your organization?
Well, I'm super excited. I love to watch the young guys. I don't know whether it makes me feel young again. I don't know what it is, but I think about Jeff Gordon when I watched Chase last night. And William, I've been so impressed with him, and his first test in an Xfinity car, he was just 2 laps in. He was right our guys said he's at the edge on speed. He's at the edge of grip. So it's just fun to watch those guys mature, grow, and come up through the ranks. And it's really exciting. And I think Chip said it and Richard said it. Richard said it actually, I've never seen the level of talent that we have today. And I think these guys adapt so much faster. And I think it's due to video games and simulators and all that. But, I mean, it doesn't take them long to get into it. I mean, experience, you got to have experience down here, and these guys will take you to school in a hurry. But the level of the young guys that you see coming along that have the talent that they have, it's super exciting. And I look for William to battle for Rookie of the Year, and he's the whole package. I'm so excited about him, and Chase, to look at how he's developed, and so I'm looking forward to watching them. It's a lot of fun to watch those young guys.
And we'll close with Jim.
Jim Hutter, Motorsport.com for Jim Campbell. You mentioned in January about at some point there'll be a process of picking a replacement for the SS. I just wondered, what are the factors that will go into that, and how involved will your NASCAR programs be in selecting the model, or will it be strictly based on things related to production?
Well, this is, as you mentioned, this is the final year for the Chevrolet SS, and obviously we're proud to be racing that on the track here for the season. You can still buy them in the showrooms this year as well, and it's a fantastic road car and race car. And we are working on what's next, and so without divulging all of that, we will have an announcement at one point about what we're going to race next year. Just in general, we want to create relevance in anything we do in motorsports, NASCAR included, but if you look at the 5 series Chevrolet is involved in, stock car, open wheel, drag racing, 2 sports car series, it's about driving relevance from the showroom to the track for the vehicle, and really making that connection. That's what's meaningful for us as a manufacturer. And it's not only the vehicle itself, it's some of the technologies. And then, as I mentioned earlier, some of the tools in which we prepare a production car can be honed over on the racing side, and then vice versa. So I think the key word there is just continue to create relevance between the track and the showroom. We do it in every series. We'll continue to do that going forward with NASCAR.
We will have 2 more sessions tomorrow similar to this one, where we'll have our manufacturer partners up here with team owners. So for those of you watching at home live on NASCAR.com, Facebook Live, please check back in with us tomorrow and tune in. And with that, I'd like to thank you, gentlemen, for taking the time to spend with us today, and good luck in the Daytona 500. Thank you.
Thanks.
Here we go.
Yep.